Hello guys, my name is Srinidhi. I'm an educator at Unacademy. So I've been working with Unacademy for a few months now. I teach English grammar on this platform. You guys can follow me on Unacademy by downloading the Unacademy Learning app on your phone. And please do check out the YouTube channel as well. So in today's particular lesson, we're going to learn all about introduction to direct and indirect object. I hope this one helps you guys. Thank you.
Hey guys, we know that this course is all about basic English grammar. So we started off with gerunds and then we moved on to infinitives. We also learned about present participles and past participles, and we learned all the rules under subject-verb agreement. So now here's a lesson that gives us an introduction about direct and indirect object. Okay, so now let's get started. So what's an object in the first place? So an object is a part of a sentence and it often forms part of the predicate. So we know what a subject is and what a predicate is. Subject is like the hero of the sentence. The sentence, what the sentence talks about is the subject, and the remaining part of the sentence is the predicate. Okay, for example, I go to school. I is a subject, go to school is a predicate part. All right, so that's object always comes in the predicate part. Next one, it refers to someone or something. So it means object can either be a person or a thing. Okay, and it usually it is involved. It is something that is subject's performance, or whatever the subject does is usually reflected on the object. Okay, let's see the normal structure of a sentence. That is a subject followed by a verb followed by an object gives us a sentence. This is the proper structure of a sentence. I cannot interchange it. Okay, this is like the this is like the unsaid rule, or most of the times it is a said rule that subject, verb, object. This is the normal formation of a sentence. Okay, we've learned what a subject is, we know what a verb is, and in this lesson which I'm going to give you an introduction to an object. Okay, so object can be a person or a thing, and it forms part of the predicate part of the sentence. And we have two types of objects, that is direct object and indirect object. So when I say object, it means both of them. Okay, now look at this example. William wrote the poem. So William is what the subject, William is the subject because the sentence is talking about William. Usually the subject comes in the beginning, but there are a few exceptions. We saw one in the previous lesson, that is in subject-verb agreement, where when the sentence starts with there or here, the subject is followed by the verb. Okay, so please pay attention to those kind of exceptions. Now, so William is a subject or the doer or the performer. Okay, he is a person who is doing something, right? He is writing, so he is the doer or the performer. In this case, he is also the subject. Okay, next one is wrote. So the verb is wrote, that is because it refers to an action. Verbs are action doing words, right? So wrote is the verb, and then what did he write? He wrote a poem. He wrote the poem. So the poem is the object because it is involved in the action. So subject did something, as a result we got an object. Okay, that's what it means. It is related to the subject's performance. The subject performed an act which became the object. Subject is the beginning, verb, and what did the subject do or what did it perform? It is the object. All right, now so we have two types of verbs which are very important when we talk about direct and indirect object. One is transitive verbs and one is intransitive verbs. Okay, so now how can we classify transitive and intransitive verbs? So simple. When a verb takes an object, it becomes a transitive verb. When a verb doesn't take an object, it becomes an intransitive verb. Okay, so a verb can be classified as transitive or intransitive based on whether it takes or doesn't take an object. So transitive verbs takes objects. For example, they played piano. So they is the subject, played is the verb. What did they play or what did the subject do? Piano. So that is the object. So it is a non-living thing. Yes. So here when I have to differentiate between subject and predicate, they is the subject, played piano is a predicate. Okay. Look at the next sentence. I wrote a letter to my uncle. I is the subject, wrote is the verb, A letter and to my uncle, both are objects. So one is a direct object, one is a direct object. All you have to worry about in this lesson is whether the sentence has an object or not. Whether the verb involved in the sentence is a transitive verb or intransitive verb. Okay, that is what we're going to pay attention in this lesson, because I don't want to put everything together and confuse people who are learning this for the first time. Okay, let's take it slow and in detail. So I is a subject, wrote is a verb. What did I write? I wrote a letter, so that's an object. To whom did I write? To my uncle. That's also an object. So one's a living thing, one's a living thing and one is a non-living thing. Okay, now what are intransitive verbs? So intransitive verbs are the verbs which do not take an object. For example, she lies. She is a subject, lies the verb. There is nothing after that. You don't even have to add anything to it. I can just end the sentence with saying she lies, and that makes complete sense. Correct? So lie is one such verb that is intransitive in nature. That means it does not need an object in order to make itself clear. Okay, for example, if I say they played, nobody will understand. They played football, they played cricket, they played hockey. What did they play, right? So let's go to the next one. The building collapsed. The subject is the building, collapsed is the verb. So there is no need for an object, because collapsed is also one such verb which does not need an object in order to justify itself. I can just say the sentence, the building collapsed, and leave it at that, because people will understand. Whereas with transitive verbs, I will have to add an object at the end of the verb in order to make the sentence sound sensible. Okay, so that's the main difference between a transitive and an intransitive verbs. Okay, now let's move on. So here's an exercise. You guys can take it in the form of the test. If you want to take it in the form of the test, please pause the video, do the test. The answers are in the following slide. And before you start, all you have to do in this exercise is decide if the verb is transitive or intransitive in nature. Okay, now let's get started. First one, I gave an apple to my sister. So is there an object in this sentence? Yes, there are two objects. And so the verb that is give is a transitive verb. So I is the subject, gave is the verb. What did I give? An apple. So that's an object. To whom did I give? I gave it to my sister. That's also an object. Since the sentence contains objects, the verb in the sentence is transitive in nature, and hence gave is a transitive verb. Next one. John sang a song. Subject is John. Sang is a verb. What did he sing? A song. So that's an object. So since there is an object in the sentence, sang becomes a transitive verb in the sentence. Alright. Next one. Camellia bought a new table. Subject is Camellia. Verb is buy. What did she buy? A table. Since there is an object, which is a table in this case, it becomes transitive in nature. That is, buy is a transitive verb. Okay. Next one. We arrived at the classroom huffing and puffing. So huffing and puffing is an expression when you run and reach the classroom, you're breathless. So the sound you make is huffing and puffing. Okay. Now, we arrived at the classroom huffing and puffing. So we is a subject. Arrived is the verb. At the classroom is not really an object. It's a destination, right? So this verb, in this sentence, there is no object at all. Please don't get confused with a place and a thing. So there are two different things, right? So a place is a destination, whereas a thing can be, how do I say it? A car is a thing, whereas it's not a destination. School is a destination, okay? So we arrived at the classroom, huffing and puffing. This sentence has no object at all. So arrive is a intransitive verb, okay? Now, next one. James went to the cafe. So James is a subject. Go is a verb. Here it is in the past tense, so it is went. He went to the cafe. So again, it's a destination. It's a place. It's not a thing. So it is not an object. Hence, this verb go is intransitive in nature. Okay. So James went to the cafe. There is no object in the sentence. So if you pay attention to these two, usually when there are destinations in the sentence, there are no objects, and then the verb becomes intransitive in nature. All right. Next one. Paul sneezes with violence. So we know what sneezing is, right? When you have cold, that hutch sound you make, that's sneezing. With violence is he sneezes so violently that everybody gets scared in the room. So Paul is a subject. Sneeze is the verb. There is no object. He sneezes. I can end it at that and it will make complete sense. So there is no object required for this sentence. So sneeze is also an intransitive verb. Okay. So here is the slide that contains the answers. I hope you guys have understood the lesson. If not, please drop it in the comment section and I shall help you guys out. And the next lesson we will learn what is indirect and what is direct object. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Bye bye.